music is a style of music that was widely used from 1500 to 1750. The term Baroque is a French word. It is a translation of the Portuguese word for broken pearl, which is barroco. Some interpret the French word as meaning irregularly shaped or fluid. The Baroque period of music lasted from 1600 to 1750, while the characteristics mentioned below were spread throughout the Baroque era. They manifested themselves in different ways depending on cultural and regional context. The result of the formation of Baroque music was an increased formality in the separation between secular and sacred music. The audience for secular music also increased as secular and political cultures affect and produce music. The musical expressions of Baroque pieces began to vary across Europe. Still, Baroque pieces shared the same characteristics, which were all meant to create grandiose, elaborate musical mosaics. One of these characteristics was ornamentation, which can be seen in many musical forms from the Baroque era. Definition of Baroque music. Baroque music is a heavily ornamented style of music that came out of the Renaissance. While it is often considered to be part of the era of classical music, it is important to note that Baroque predated the classical period. The Baroque period lasted from 1600 until 1750. The genre gets its name from the Portuguese word for broken pearl, which is a particularly apt way of describing this style of music, heavily instrumental at both the highest and lowest notes. Baroque music regained popularity in the late 1800 and has been played ever since. Baroque music characteristics include high levels of ornamentation, intricate and complex details, heavily contrasting elements, high movement especially compared to the music of other time periods. Sonorous, continuous bass line, which allowed the higher voices of the music to be as expressive as the composer wished. Comparably frequent transitions back and forth between keys, especially keys which were near each other in the tonal scale. Common instruments in Baroque music include violin, viola, cello, and pianoforte. This instrument was invented in the mid-18th century by Bartolomeo Cristofori, who was deliberately seeking to create an instrument that could play the elaborate pieces being written during the Baroque era. The Baroque era began in 1600 and ended in 1750. It immediately followed the Renaissance and was significantly impacted by the cultural developments of the Italian Renaissance. Also significant is the fact that the Baroque era coincided with the Protestant Reformation. The public, including musical creators and artists, were attempting to separate themselves and their cultures from the confines of the religious doctrine and cultural practices of the Catholic Church. The driving forces behind this desire for secular identity and expression was humanism, a belief that the abilities and ideas of humans should be acknowledged and celebrated instead of being de-emphasized in favor of the worship of a deity. Jean-Henri Danglibert created a table of ornamentation used during the Baroque era. The French text reads, Table of Ornamentations and Their Meanings.